Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 16th to the 31st, 2022 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Taurus, January 16th to the 31st, 2022, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. 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 At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the star, which is Aquarius energy coming through, and we have Gemini, which is Gemini energy. So if we're born on the cusp with Gemini, or we have Aquarius or Gemini within our natal chart, this comes out, this part of our personality comes out very profoundly at the root of us, at the very foundation of who we are during this time. Also, Uranus and Mercury play a bigger role during this time than we would imagine or than we would anticipate. So just be aware of that. Then we have Justice, which is Libra energy. Libra is ruled by Venus, just like we are. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Four of Coins. Again, if we have Libra energy within our natal chart, that comes through very powerfully here at our root. We then have the Six of Cups. We have the Four of Swords, and we have Virgo. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, so very strong Mercury energy here, meaning that words are very important to us. Mercury goes into retrograde on the 14th of January. So we're going to find that Mercury retrograde is kind of messing things up just a bit. Don't take it too seriously. Don't take your words too serious. Don't take your words too seriously, meaning you will stumble over things. You will make mistakes. You will mess up. Don't be so hard on yourself, Taurus, because you're going to have a tendency to. You're going to have a tendency to get really frustrated with this time. Why isn't everything moving as smoothly as I would like it to? Or why aren't people really understanding? And this is going to be a time where it's like, no, step into your power. Don't let others or don't let frustrations take it away from us. We have the Empress, and we have the Ace of Cups. The public arena is absolutely beautiful for us. The Empress is we're giving birth to prosperities and to abundances, but we're also giving birth to what we want to create within our lives. We have to be very mindful of negative mindsets, negative voices within our own heads, other people's narratives becoming our truth, because words are so important to us during this time. We're going to find that other people's stories are going to be something that we internalize. So be mindful of what we're feeding ourselves mentally, what we're feeding ourselves emotionally. our subconscious energy, not our subconscious, our energy, oh goodness, to be mindful of. Well, I think it's this one that just flew out so vehemently. It's like, don't put me back. Okay. These were all shuffled and meditated on beforehand. So here it is, the Lovers. So this is, again, that Mercury energy coming forward, Gemini energy, which is very prominent here at our root. We also have to be mindful of it. We have to be mindful of being indecisive about things, indecisive people, not that they have to make a decision and stick to it type of thing, but that there is going to be this element of somebody who just goes after the moment of what feels good. And this is going to be a person who isn't as developed. This isn't just talking about Gemini energies. This is a, broad-based kind of outline of a person who's going to be in our lives, or information that's going to be coming our way, where this person isn't as developed as they would like to be. They make instantaneous decisions. They, go off of the moment of what feels good. They fall in lust and not in love. And so that's going to be something that we just need to be mindful of. It can even be a person who says, oh, this new idea or this new project or, this new place to work is the best thing. And then you look at the place and you're like, okay, but it seems like a scam, or it doesn't seem real, or something. Like, look deeper into it, because that's what I'm seeing here. It's like you fall in love with the outside, or you fall in lust with the outside, right? And the inside is all rotted up. So just be mindful of that. It's kind of like the Norse god Hel, where half of them is beautiful and half of them is rotted. So yeah, that's going to be it. And let's look at our chakra energy for this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is creativity. This is the sacral chakra. At our root is profoundly creative energy. Can we tap into it? Are we, kind of brave enough within ourselves to say, this is the creative path that I want to walk, or this is what I desire for myself? The sacral chakra is where we hold our creativity. It's where we hold our sensuality, but it's also where we hold a lot of doubts and fears from this life and from past lives. So we can have to work through a lot to be able to get to the place that we really want to be. We have the star at our root, but before we start talking about this, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's talk about the astrological aspects of this time. So on the 16th, we have the 16th to the 31st, and there are going to be some days that aren't mentioned because nothing big is happening astrologically. So just be mindful of this. On the 16th of January, the Sun is conjunct Pluto. So this brings deep and intense emotions to the surface. We want to expand and better ourselves, and we will not be satisfied with the easy way. We kind of want it to be lasting. It's kind of like, doing something. It's kind of like half-assing something, excuse my language, but that's what it's like. It's like, no, we're going to build it to last, and we're not going to build it so that it just falls down. It's kind of like the house made of bricks with the little pigs, the 3 little pigs, and not the house made of twigs. So that's going to be very important. There's also an amazing willpower to us that needs to be harnessed on this day, and that can lead us on a life-changing road. It really can. It can really open up the door. On the 17th of January, there's the full moon, and it's the wolf full moon in Cancer, and there will be a separate video done on that, but it's going to be quite intense. The 18th of January has Uranus going direct, and that's going to be important for us because we have the strong Uranus energy here because we have Aquarius coming forward. Now, when Uranus went into retrograde on the 19th of August, there we go, I can speak, was on the 19th of August. And when this happens, when it went into retrograde, our inner challenges were brought forward by our external challenges, by our outer challenges. And now, as it goes direct, we're going to see things starting to settle down. And we're going to see things starting to settle into the direction that we really want to go, that we really want to head in for ourselves. On the 23rd of January, the Sun is going to be conjunct Mercury retrograde. Again, we have strong Mercury energy here. This day is amplified for us, just as the 18th of January is amplified for us with Uranus going direct. So here, with the Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde, this is a fantastic aspect for artists and for people who are seeking to create a new way of life for themselves, or just even like, new thoughts, new ideas, new ways to move ourselves forward. Now, because Mercury is in retrograde, there can be some frustration around the conception of ideas, around the, birth of these ideas. Because we have the Empress in the public arena, we're not going to be as held back as we think we are. So that's going to be a really good thing. Don't let things get you down, and embrace your your active mind and your active communication. Really go after what it is that you want, even if you're feeling like things get muddled along the way. Things are going to get muddled for everybody. It's Mercury retrograde. It's just how it goes. On the 24th of January, we have Mars entering into Capricorn. Now, this is absolutely amazing, especially if you're born on the cusp with Aries, or you have a lot of Aries or Capricorn within your natal chart. There is nothing that we cannot do. There is nothing that we cannot conquer during this time, because we have the warrior energy of Mars, right, that rules Aries, right? And we have the practical energy of Capricorn coming in. And this really sets us on a positive direction, that really sets us on this fact of, or this place where we really feel like we can accomplish a lot. Now, we can be a little bit brutish during this time, like a bit of a brute. People can take this energy and corrupt it. So also be mindful of that we might be dealing with those types of people. On the 26th of January, we have Neptune squared Lilith. Now, this is a very powerful alignment. Neptune is also known as the Lord of the Invisible Kingdom. And this has us looking at our dreams and our heart's desires and where we really want to be, things that we can't, kind of quantify, that we can't weigh and say, oh, this is what it is. We can't, weigh it out and have it be something of mass, or of, that we can touch, that we can feel. This is what our heart really desires. This is our emotional self. Well, Lilith has us looking at our darkest fears and our doubts. Now, this can make us feel overwhelmed, especially if we haven't faced the doubts and fears around our dreams. Or, we've never given voice to them. We want to sweep them under the rug. We think, oh, my dreams are perfect, or, I have no fears around them. Everybody has fears around them. It's almost like, even if we don't have fears around, we don't think we have fears around the accomplishing of the goal, we could have the fear of, well, then what next? What next? What happens next? Yet this is going to be a very empowering time if we look at what we want, what we deeply want, and we honor ourselves and our fears, and we don't let it keep us held back. We sit there and say, you know what, every human being has fears. Everything can get overwhelming at times. I'm still moving forward in the honor and in the power of me. Now, the 29th of January has a lot of things happening. We have the Sun sextile Chiron. Now, this aspect shows us our wounds in our strengths, focusing us to really face what we might not want to, because we're going to think we're more powerful if we're right, or if we can just say there are no insecurities or no, cracks within me. But there are within every single one of us. So to honor the fears around our strengths, or honor the weaknesses around our strengths, that's going to be important for us to sit there and say, you know what? Even though I'm really strong in this avenue, I might not know everything, or I might not be able to do everything, and that's okay. On the 19th of January, we also have Mercury retrograde conjunct Pluto. Now, this makes us greatly intelligent and deeply curious. Because Mercury is in retrograde, we can be all over the place in our curiosity, in our discovery, making us a little bit scattered in our daily life, which definitely comes in because the Mercury energy is so strong here. So just being aware of that, it's going to be really important. We're not going to be as opposed to things being scattered as some might think, Taurus, but we might not want it to go as far as like Gemini can take it, right? On the 29th of January, we also have Venus going direct. This is important for us. We are ruled by Venus. We also have Libra energy in our inner selves. Venus hits us hard. This brings us out of a challenging love cycle that began when Venus went into retrograde on the 19th of December. This has us looking at what we love and why we love it with an openness and honesty that maybe we haven't felt before, or we've been afraid to really address. The 30th of January has the Sun squared Uranus, again coming through very powerfully at our root. People find us a bit abrupt and provocative during this time, as we can find people abrupt and provocative in their own way. So this has us also very driven, and we want to do our own thing. We want to stand out. We need to, and we need to just be ourselves and not worry about what anybody else thinks. That's going to be really super important. At our root here, we have the star. This is brilliance. This is wishes coming true. This is a sense of seeing what we spiritually, personally, and powerfully want. This is divinity seeing our inner self, not just what they think we should be, or not just what we think we should be, or what we think we should be wishing for, or what we cross our fingers for. This is what we deeply want within our soul. And it has to do with love. It has to do with connection. It has to do with unity of self and greater understanding of what we desire. This is also very strong air sign energy coming through. We need to connect with our words, and we need to very much be aware of the inner dialect that we have with ourselves. Are we always putting ourselves down? Are we building ourselves up too much in one area because we're afraid of it? What is it that we're doing in our words that isn't helpful to us? What is it that we're doing in our words that we need to do more each and every day? Do we need to celebrate the little things? Like I love having a latte in the morning. I make my bulletproof coffee. I have this little latte foam thing, and just in the quiet, before everything needs my attention, I can have a cup of coffee and I can sit there and just really enjoy that, a latte or three. That type of thing is just amazing. So being able to celebrate the little things, being able to take joy in the little things, going for the walk with the dogs, or, the laughter of my nephew, whatever it is, like take joy in the little things, because it is profound and it is so important for us. And that's going to be what really sets us apart, what really builds us up during this time, is taking those moments and having those blessings and looking at things. Like even when it might be like super, super cold outside, you can look outside. Like this is what it is today for us. It's so, so cold. And yet you can look outside and say it's so beautiful, because it is. It's so beautiful. And it's so serene, because the cold kind of makes things a little bit quieter. It brings us to justice. Now, justice is an interesting card, because we can think that I'm supposed to be just to everybody else, right? I'm supposed to, uphold the law or uphold these rules and this and that. And what I'm actually seeing here is stop being so hard on yourself. Stop being so rigid within the way that we're supposed to be doing things. This is being discerning. This is saying, what energy do I want in my life? And what energy don't I want in my life? How is it that I move me forward? Where is it that I want to be? I can be fair to people, yes, but I also have to be fair to myself. This is being discerning. I always get the imagery of leaving all the windows, all the doors open, and just leaving the house, right? And like leaving a message on like Facebook or something like that, like I'm not going to be home, and then coming home and everything being stolen. And if you told anybody like, oh my gosh, I left all my windows and doors opened and everything was taken, and I left a message on Facebook, and everything was taken, people would just look at you and be like, well, of course. Like, I'm shocked that it took you the whole day to have everything taken, type of deal. And this is what we do to ourselves. We leave ourselves open emotionally. We leave ourselves open, energy wise. And we say, why is it that I feel drained? Why is it that I'm overwhelmed? Why is it that, things aren't going right? And so here it's sitting in our own energy and in our own self and saying, what is the justice? What is the power? What is the beauty, the truth for me? And it leads us to the Wheel of Fortune. It leads us to being able to really enter into a new season. And as we're entering into a new season, what we're going to find is, yes, we can feel overwhelmed, but we have the Four of Coins here. We're going to be looking at the vampiric energy. We're going to be looking at the energy that drains us, that overwhelms us, that keeps us held back in one way or another, that has denied us the real way that we want to move forward. And as we look at this, and as we honor this, and as we see ourselves, we're going to start to say, okay, how do I build my foundation? How is it that I get to move forward in the power and in the prosperity that is me, without being held back by anybody else or anything else? And so that becomes the game changer here. It leads us to the Six of Cups. It leads us to a lot of memories coming forward. We're going to have a tendency during this time to live in the past, or to regret certain decisions that we have made, or want to bring the good times in the past forward and undo some chaotic times that we have had. And the Six of Cups is telling us, stop, stop. The past is a great place, but the past can also bring up pain. And so have our memories, honor what we desire to create within our waking world, but do not let the past be the dictate of the present, because we're also going to be bringing in a lot of painful moments for ourselves. And also we're going to be remembering and almost paying homage to those people that didn't treat us well, that said nasty, hurtful, hateful words, that shaped us as we were little, that we thought, oh my gosh, they have to be speaking the truth, because why would they be so nasty, or why would it be so hurtful, or why would it be so overwhelming? And so here, just be very mindful of this, because it's coming up, and it can be that we're reliving one regret over and over and over again. And it just becomes so much for us that we need to take a break. Our hearts need to rest, and we need to turn inward. It's going to be so important emotionally, just to kind of say, time out. I need to connect with me. And so the Four of Swords comes forward, and it shows us that even when we rest, we have our armor on. We're protecting ourselves, and we're not resting then. If we're always on guard, we're not able to get those good night sleeps. We're not able to really take care of ourselves. And that's going to be an important thing. We're going to see that a part of ourselves has been kind of in stasis, in storage, that type of energy. It's like it hasn't come out yet because we haven't been ready for it. But once we rest, once we heal, and once we honor our story, not saying, oh my gosh, it should be different, but we honor the story that we have lived through. We honor everything that has been a part of us. And then we start to move forward. Then we're going to start to say, oh, this is where I need to be. This is what I want for my life. This is, how I need to move forward for me. And it brings us to the hermit. It brings us again to turning inward. It brings us to illuminating our path. It brings us to a place where we start to see the flexibility of our mind and our spirit and our soul and what it is that we want and what it is that we don't want. And as we're embracing this, we're embracing us. We're looking at us so much more rationally. We're looking at us so much more honestly. And we're saying to the rest of the world, you have your chaos. I need my peace. Now, we might be like, okay, Dane, that's all well and good, but I'm in the rat race. My job demands that I always be on point, and there are backstabbers. And it doesn't matter if you're the CEO of the company or if you're the person selling things in the shop. Backstabbers are real. They're there. We have to deal with them. They're energy drainers. And it's like, how do I stay in my own world? How do I stay positive and moving forward where everybody else has their gossip, has their nastiness, and is kind of like trying to sabotage me? Here's the thing. The first thing might be that we have to start looking for a new job just for our own sanity, for our own health, for our own well-being. If we can't right now, which makes perfect sense, what we have to say to ourselves is it worth me being dragged to their level, their lower energy vibration, to be able to exist with them more harmoniously? Or do I let myself stand out? And this is going to be a time where, by the 30th of January with the sun squared Uranus, it's like I'm going to stand out. And I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. I need to be me. And so that's going to be very important. And that's going to be an energy that we take on internally that's astoundingly powerful. It moves us to the Empress. It moves us to luxury and beauty and harmony and abundance and grace and fertility and love and nurture and generosity. It just moves us to this place. And that's what it says all around her halo. It says here, let me shine. Let me be who I was born to be. This is also us being pregnant with possibilities, being pregnant with ideas and needing to bring them forward into the world. And we could say, Dane, the Empress has come up before. How many ideas can I have? Are you really going after what it is that you want? Because I know me personally, I put the brakes on myself all the time. Oh my gosh, that's scary. Oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. Oh my gosh, I couldn't possibly. Oh my gosh, I need to just hide a little bit more. So do we need to take more of a hermit time for us? Or do we tend to take that hermit time when the world gets too intense and we need just to, take our time out? The Empress is calling us forward. Do we embrace it or do we run from it? And then we have the Ace of Cups. Now, this is love and relationships and beginnings, and love and relationships and beginnings coming through like a mantra. It's also tremendous fertility here. So there's going to be great blessings to whatever it is that we try to go after, whatever it is that we set our mind to. We just have to make sure that our heart is in it and that it's not pulling us in another direction. And so here to embrace our blessings, to move forward in our peace, to look at ourselves with openness and honesty and know that God, Source, Spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, is handing us this gift of love, of connection, of healing, of a washing away of hurts and pains. That's next level. That's really top notch. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that is the Queen of Pentacles. That's us getting in our own way. We're represented by the Pentacles in the Minor Arcana. We're represented by the Hierophant in the Major Arcana. Here, it's getting in our own way, but it can also be kind of like mothering ourselves too much or longing for the protection of somebody else. I just very much see that very strong mother figure come forward. Now, whether it is that we're taking all the responsibilities and putting them on our shoulders and saying, this is what I have to do. And it doesn't matter if we're a mother or a female or, however we see ourselves. What it matters is that we're taking on too much responsibilities, and that's going to be something we need to be mindful of. We're also going to need to be mindful of people whose energy vibration, they just don't match with us. And yet on paper, it could be like, wow, this is a perfect match. This is a perfect person for this position in the business, or this is a perfect person to, meet with and talk to and maybe have a relationship with, or a friend, or, whatever. And it just doesn't work. We just need to respect that energy that's coming forward. Because if we respect that energy, Taurus, we're way more sensitive than people give us credit for. If we start to respect that energy, if we start to respect the sacred feminine knowledge within us, that instinctual, kind of psychic power that we have, we're going to see the door open to us way more than we've been seeing it, because there's going to be this instinct that just guides us and drives us. Our subconscious chakra energy is balance. This is the Earth Star chakra. No, it isn't. This is the root chakra. And at the root chakra, it's all about here, balance, understanding, harmony, the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine coming together, and the opening up of the door of what we want and where it is that we need to be and who it is that we are. And so we're balancing ourselves openly, honestly, and powerfully. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message. And this is the High Priestess. The veil is being lifted from our eyes. This is, again, that beautiful sacred feminine energy coming forward. And as it is coming forward, there is wisdom here. There is insight here. There is power here that guides us. We're seeing ourselves in a way that we haven't seen ourselves before. We're also seeing the world around us in a way that we haven't. And that is a powerful projection forward. That is a powerful purpose, insight, determination that leads us. It brings us to our subconscious inner self, and that's the Emperor. The Emperor comes forward, and the Emperor and the Empress here. I mean, that is just such a beautiful pairing. That is such a beautiful pairing. The Emperor and the Empress are the sacred couple, right? They are the king and the queen of the whole entire tarot. They're the rulers of the tarot. The sacred couple would probably be the High Priestess and either the Hermit, or the High Priestess and the Magician, depending on the reading. But what we're going to see here is just so much power coming forward. This is a soulmate connection, true love connection. This is the sacred feminine, sacred masculine aspects of ourselves really falling into harmony. And this doesn't mean that it has to be like all the time, like, oh my gosh, one thing after another is just falling into place. Though I do wish that for each and every one of us. What it is going to be more like is a calmness that comes over certain things, an understanding that comes forward, like both sides of the brain working together, both sides of our souls and ourselves coming together. And it brings us just like this determined focus in our inner self. Subconsciously, it's like, no, I'm not going to be conquered. I'm not going to be told what to do. I am going to move forward in the power that is me. And it's not that I'm not going to be told what to do in petulance. It's I'm not going to have my life decided by somebody else. And it moves us to our subconscious inner self, emotional self. And that's the King of Cups. This is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. We're going to find that we rule only ourselves. Only what we love, only what we want, only who we are. Meaning that we can't make anybody do what we don't want them to do. I mean, have you ever tried to get a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old to do what they are absolutely determined not to do? They can break you. They can out-stubborn you a lot if you fall into their pattern of will equals right. But if you say, you know what, that's it. I'm taking this away. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm walking away. That sends a powerful message. People don't like to be ignored. And so here, with the King of Cups, it is embracing the heart. It is embracing the powerful message of ourselves. And it's ignoring the energy that's trying to pull us under. It's ignoring the chaos that is all around us in our world that's trying to, take away our joy. And it's saying, no, you don't get that chance at all. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self. And that is the 8 of Wands. This says good news, travel, good news, and travel. It becomes our mantra. The good news that leads us forward. This is things speeding up, moving forward, going after what we want, going after what we need, seeing things in a new way, in a profound way. And this is getting caught up in things. We can really get caught up in the movement of creativity, in the movement of healing, in the movement of love, in the cleansing away of negative energy. We're going to be sensitive in the public arena, so be mindful of this. Be mindful of this. Don't expect so much of yourself. And don't expect yourself to be like hard as stone. It's just not going to happen. Embrace your heart. Because your heart, Taurus, is going to be one of your greatest gifts. Ruled by Venus. Ruled by Venus, Taurus, you cannot ignore your heart. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus.